I hate to tell you this, but boy, I got some really bad news. So as you know, Carolyn and I live here off grid. Been doing it for about 3 years now. We've been in this house for 2, camper before that. And we've really tried to minimize our cost. Not because it's important to us, it's not. I mean, we're debt free, we have no bills. But as part of living off grid, we've learned how to minimize our expenses. And to me, that's very important because as I get older, I may need money for something, I don't know, health reasons, or who knows. I might need to buy firewood. Maybe I can't cut firewood in the future. I mean, I got 15 years. That takes me up to 66 years old or so. So I might have to get firewood. Of course, I'm going to try to get some more before that happens. And one of the things that we've tried to do is we've tried to minimize the cost of food. Of course, we have chickens, and we've learned how to take care of the chickens without having to go buy a lot of feed or any feed. Of course, we buy sunflower seeds. Of course, we have sunflower seeds, and Carolyn can turn a 50-pound bag of sunflower seeds into a 250 pounds by sprouting them. And we're going to raise them this coming year. We don't need a lot because all you need once they're sprouted is just give them a little handful. That gives them all the protein they need. And then, of course, the rest of it, we just scavenge off the property. If things got really bad, we can trap possums and raccoons and feed them possums and raccoons. Of course, we incubate their eggs. We got plenty of eggs coming from them. So we'll incubate them about once to twice a year. Now we have the Brahmas. We should only need to incubate once a year because they're huge. Last time we incubated 22 eggs, and we got 15 chickens out of that. We saved all the hens, that way we could get more eggs, and they're producing now. We butchered all the roosters, and I think we got 20 jars out of the roosters, 20 pint jars of food. And then, of course, every time we go to the grocery store, we're carnivores, I should mention that. I've mentioned that in lots of videos. 80% or so. Of course, we still go to the Dollar General on Fridays and pick up some pistachios. We used to pick up ice cream quite frequently, but the more we get onto this carnivorous diet, the less sugars and the carbohydrates we eat, I think we're eliminating our addiction to sugars. It's quite amazing. I remember I was always so excited about ice cream day. I mean, it'd be anticipating it all the time. Now it's like, you really want ice cream? Maybe pistachios. And so the pistachios are kind of nice. I mean, I would think most people would consider healthy. I think they're kind of healthy. But if we couldn't buy them anymore, we wouldn't need them. So it's just a little guilty pleasure we have. And then, of course, we go shopping about once a month and primarily just buy meat products. We don't have to. That's very important that I point that out. We don't have to. We only do it because we want a variety of foods. Just because we still live in a society. But if society broke down, we wouldn't have to. Carolyn is an amazing cook. Everybody's asking me for her recipe all the time. But really, it's just a little bit of this, a little bit of that. She can cook the same meals over and over and over again, and they always taste completely different. I really enjoy that. Now, on the other hand, having been on a carnivorous diet for so long now, maybe I don't need a wide variety of flavors. I mean, it's kind of like oxygen. If you think about it, you have to breathe, so you breathe oxygen. It's not like you have a different flavor every day or every breath. And I think the same way with food. Once you get food away from being something that you are addicted to, I don't know if you even have to have different flavors, but she's really good at it. A little dash of this, and she'll taste it. Yeah, that tastes good. And the next time she's got a dash of that, and it still tastes good. She cooks out here on the stove. Takes her all maybe 30 minutes to cook. We have this meal we call spaghetti. Of course, we don't have any noodles. She makes hamburger patties, flavors them up with some eggs and different things. I don't know all she puts in it. And then puts spaghetti sauce on top of it, tomato sauce. Oh, it's just awesome. I just love it. Call it spaghetti. Now, when we go to the store, we try to frugal shop. I see a lot of people going to the store and they're buying sodas and snacks and different things. We really just kind of focus on the meat aisle. We go over to the meat aisle. We don't go to the expensive meat aisle. We go to Save-A-Lot, which is kind of like an Aldi's. I would imagine everybody knows what an Aldi's is. But I think Save-A-Lot's a little better than Aldi's, especially in their meat aisle. Now, we don't go to the expensive meats. We go to the day-old meats. It's in the center aisle in the little open freezers. I think what it is the meat in the expensive aisle is getting ready to go bad. or expire, so they put it in the center aisle and they reduce the cost significantly. What we do is we go through the whole store, the whole meat department, and we scan all the prices. And then we look for the lowest price. Whatever the lowest price is, we start there and we start loading the cart up. And then we go to the next highest price. Now we have this little refrigerator. It's a mini fridge is what it is, and it works exactly like a fridge. It has a freezer spot with a separate door. Not one of those cheap ones where you open the door and then you got this little shelf in there that's supposed to be your freezer. It's a real freezer, and we get 30 days of meat in that. But the way she does it is she puts like ground beef, let's just call it beef for a second, and she puts it in a Ziploc bag, and then she packs it real tight, like flat, and then she lines the freezer up like a bookshelf, and she get 2 rows in there of meat. Well, the problem is sometimes you get like pork butts. So what we do then is we grind the pork. She cuts it up and we grind it up. We have this little hand grinder, and they're not that expensive. You can get cheap ones. Read the reviews. This is the best I can tell you. We got a cheap one, and it works pretty good. The key to using the hand grinder is that you don't wipe the blade. For some reason, when you wipe the blade, it just stops working. So just keep grinding and it'll come out. Of course, that's, a lot of work and things. Carolyn on grocery shopping day spends a good portion of the day just packing up meat. I always offered help. Don't think I don't help, but that's her job. There's just, we have these tasks that we enjoy doing here. If she wanted help, of course, I'd immediately help. The thing about Carolyn and me is we're kind of reclusive. We don't like going to the store. There's too many people there. Now I know people are going to say, oh, you're on YouTube, you can't be a recluse. It's just not true. I'm talking to a camera. You have to imagine that. I'm not talking to a group of people. I'm just talking to a camera, and then I edit the video and I put it up. So I can even make mistakes when I'm talking and edit that completely out. We go in with this game plan. I just told you kind of what the game plan is. But if there's something there, we tend not to communicate too well about an idea we might have. So Carolyn saw the turkeys was 90 cents a pound, something like that. And I knew what she was thinking. She would like to have a turkey for Thanksgiving, and she's trying to think of how to cook it. And I said, do you want to can it? I said it 2 or 3 times, but again, we don't get into deep discussions. And Carolyn seems to have this roadblock when it comes to canning for some reason. It's not bad. I mean, we do can, but she was big in canning vegetables. And I was always big in canning meats. And then when we got together, I'm canning meats, and she's like, it's kind of a roadblock. So when we're in the store, the roadblock comes up, and she doesn't really think about, oh yeah, we could can the turkey. So I said it again, you want to can it? No response. So I just went on about my business, and we ended up getting this chicken. It's the bag chicken. I talk to you about this bag chicken all the time. We bought it, and it's so cold out. That's what's so nice right now, is it's so cold out that it's still frozen. So I'm in no hurry to can it. When it thaws, then I'll can it. And in the wintertime, it's like an additional refrigerator for us. So the chicken, it was $4.90 a bag back in the last spring. And then during the summer, it was $7.90, and now it's $9.90. So the turkey and the chicken is the same price. Well, of course, when we got home, I told Carolyn we could have canned the turkey, and the turkey and the chicken was the same price. But the thing is what we were thinking is the turkey probably has more meat on it. So we may end up going back and buying it. I tell you, the prices, inflation has just skyrocketed. I think we're at 10%, don't quote me, 10% inflation. Now I know the numbers are all skewed. They don't calculate it like they used to. And people in the comment section are gonna tell me, no, it's like 50%. That's fine, I kind of agree with, I understand what you're saying, kind of agree with it. Last spring, we could go to the store and buy a month's worth of food for 150 bucks, including this chicken that we can. Well, this time it was $240. And so my mind said, oh, you know what I could do? I'd just subtract chicken, that doesn't really count anyways, because that was 30 bucks. And I said, wait a minute. No, we always bought chicken before, and we was at $150. We're buying chicken now, and it's 200. So it's went up at, what, 100 bucks for us, nearly. 90, 100 bucks. Well, the bad news is they're saying the inflation is going to go back up to 7% more next year. Kind of calculating out what we do, $240, we went up $100, $90 to $100. in the last 7-8 months. So I could expect another $75 on top of that. So that puts us up at $300 a month for food. So our food prices will have doubled since last spring. There is no way for us to bring down our cost at all because we already minimized all our costs. We don't have any cost except food. But I think I can help you bring down your costs. So when inflation goes up, you're actually going to be lowering your prices. And what you need to do is when you go to the store, don't shop. Don't go around browsing. You go in with a plan. We're going to buy meats. And you walk around and you look for the lowest price meats. And you buy up all the cheapest meat. And then you buy up the second cheapest meat. And when you have whatever your budget can afford, you know, $100, $200, $300, when you have that much money in your basket, you leave. Now, when you get home, don't put it in the freezer. There's two problems with the freezer. One, they're expecting outages. They've been talking about it forever, planned outages. My grandma had like $4,000 worth of beef. She raised 13 cows and she butchered them all and she had it all in freezers. And then one spring, the electric went up for two weeks. And a lot of people say, well, that was a freak storm. Well, no, it's not a freak storm. Storms happen every year. We should be ready for them. So you got that problem. And then electric prices are going up. So as you're trying to save costs, you're throwing more into the freezer. You're opening it up, you're getting foods out of it. It's always running. So you can buy canners from Walmart, Presto canners. I showed you how to can. Well, I've got lots of videos on canning. You just go to my channel, go to playlist, select canning. I show you how to can all kinds of different meats. But I just made a video 2 days ago about canning pork, cold pack or raw pack, whatever you want to call it. Now, Carolyn and I only eat 1 pint jar of meat, and of course we eat the eggs for lunch. That's all the food that we need because we're not eating carbs. Now, other things you can do to minimize costs is get out of your bedroom, shut off the bedroom, shut off the heat in the bedroom, and move into one area of your house, the living room probably. It's inconvenient, but we're heading into a depression. And this is what people did in the depression. I mean, unemployment rate was 25% in the depression. That means 3/4 of the population was still working and they considered it a depression. We're already in a recession and we have inflation and it's expected to go up even higher next year. So we just as well expect it. Don't be scared of it. Just take care of it and learn how to reduce your costs. Another thing you can do is put a blanket in front of the door. So when you open the door, that cold air isn't rushing in. So then you close the door behind you and you're in between the blanket and the door. Once the door is closed, then you can open the blanket to get into your house. So if you can click this up next box, take that video where I showed you a couple days ago about canning pork. So I hope I can inspire you to take this seriously so you can live your dreams. Thanks for watching.